What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Now I've just got to Newmarket near Cambridge. It's taken me about an hour to get here, but we're coming to film a stunning Oscar tank today, a 6-foot Oscar tank. So stay tuned, it's going to be sick. Come and check out this Oscar tank which I've just come to. And there are two Oscars in there. I don't know if you guys are going to recognise these two, but these two are my ones. I'll give to Gareth. They're such big fish, aren't they?
It's huge. The grey one is definitely like, I think it's the biggest I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, they were about, say, 4 years old now, these two, when I got them. I remember about 4 years old. I grew them up from fish like half the size of that.
Yeah, that's mad.
Crazy, man.
The red one definitely bosses it. The grey one's, like the marble grey, is definitely it's a bit more subdued than the other.
Yeah, yeah. So what stock have you got in here then, mate? I know we've got the Oscars. How many Oscars have you got?
Yeah, so, do you know what? The stock continued until about midnight last night. We've dropped another copper Oscar in.
Yeah.
So we lost the main boss of the tank. We didn't, basically we had to give him away. When we moved yours in, there was definitely a ruckus between the two big ones. So we let our big Oscar go. I think at that point we had 8. So at the moment we're looking at, I think there's 6. We've got 2, 4, 6. Green Severum. A not so red-tailed catfish. His tail's never really been red.
No, I can see it. Lovely though, isn't he?
Yeah, which we thought as a juvenile was probably natural or normal, but as he's grown it doesn't seem to go red, but he's really come into his own recently. He probably, how long we had the red tail, George? A couple of months, and I reckon he was probably a quarter of the size he is now.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard this before a few times. Yeah.
Mad as well, because if you go back to the shop, there was 2 in the shop when we got him. And the one in the shop, the one that's remaining, is still absolutely tiny. They're obviously just not so scared of feeding it. Yeah. But he's like a trooper. He has scallops. He'll have anything that falls in front of him.
Well, in shops they just obviously feed as they need to. Do you know what I mean? They don't feed like we do, you know. So
yeah, no, of course. So yeah, the Oscars are amazing. I mean, I don't. Are yours? What did you know if yours were wild caught or?
No, just standard tiger Oscars, mate. That's what sort of they were in the shop. So you can see how big they are. They're massive fish.
Yeah, he's massive. Yeah, so every other Oscar bar that albino one in the front is a wild caught one.
Yeah.
The one at the back of the tank you can see is quite distinctive with his really dark colorations. And the plan was to kind of get every shade of Oscar, if you like.
Yeah.
But we kind of took to the red tigers and the coppers. The white albino might be making an exit. He does kind of stand out a bit.
I don't know. It does look pretty cool though.
Yeah, he's our only ornamental one that I've actually bought out the shop. But the rest we've been you know, collecting set of guys that you need to get rid of them. They're growing too big.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, kind of like a fish rescue, isn't it? Really.
A little bit.
Yeah, and it's a nice sized tank as well. What is it? It's 6 foot.
So,
isn't it?
yeah, it's a 6x2 for 2, 600 litre. 2 FX6s underneath. We did have sand substrate in there, which I've been removing purely for my own, like, I don't know, peace of mind with the scratching of the tank and the pumps in the FX6s. And what I found was every time you drain an FX6, the sand gets stuck in the O-rings, and you're taking that apart, you're re-greasing parts. So I've done away with the sand, which obviously the bits that are left is just purely what I can't collect at the moment. But
no,
fish don't seem to mind. I think I prefer it.
Yeah, and as you're doing your water change, you can get them last little bits out, can't you?
Exactly.
And if you really want to in the future, you can go for like a harder grain sand, which will less chance coming up, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a bare bottom tank, so we thought we'd try it.
It does look cool, doesn't it, the bare bottom tank?
Yeah.
It's definitely low maintenance. The bare bottom tank.
Stingray.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Like I say, you know, do water changes every 3 or 4 days. You know, there's no fear of needing a substrate for mechanical filtration or anything.
No.
And I religiously have always painted the back of the tanks black.
Yeah.
Which obviously makes the fish pop out.
I'll check how crystal clear that water is.
Yeah, it's, I spoke to you about it before, the Chemi Pure Blue.
Yeah, you can run in it, yeah?
You run it in one of the FX6s, which the problem is we haven't run the tank without it, so it's not. We don't know whether it's. But yeah, I think it's responsible.
It will definitely take the tannins out of this wood.
Yeah.
If you leave that 3 or 4 days, you will get a brown tinge in the water, but the Chemi Pure does.
Yeah, it's mad. I've never ever not been able to, you know, obviously see right through the tank with pure clarity.
These are beautiful fish here, son.
Yeah, they're really good.
Lovely fish.
I think there's, don't quote me on this, I think there's 12 different species of Oscars.
Yeah.
So we looked at, obviously, oh yeah, let's get one of, one of each, and didn't realise how many there are.
Yeah.
There's a really rare blue Oscar that I'd like to find one day.
You're Oscar mad, aren't you?
Yeah, they're good, but so we had South American cichlids.
Yeah.
And we've always had fish, and how many fish tanks do we have, boys? Loads over the years. We've even bred koi before indoors.
Yeah.
In the tank.
Yeah.
And never had Oscars. And I always remember as a kid going into a pet shop and I was like, oh, don't put your hand in that tank, that fish will like go for you. And I remember thinking as a kid I was like scarred by, oh, you can't have an Oscar. And we got bored of the cichlids, and we got the 2 wild Oscars, and the interaction you can have with them, is mad. They literally, they'll follow your finger at times. They're following each other at the moment. They know when they're being fed.
Yeah, they're water puppies, aren't they?
Yeah,
sort of get named, don't they?
So at the moment, we had an arowana in there, which obviously got sectioned off in the bit I'm in now. So prior to that, they would come galloping over for food.
Yeah, you've got a lovely bit of flow up here as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. The little tiger Oscar there, he thinks he owns a tank, which is quite amusing at times when your Oscars get hold of him. And we'll probably see the red tail whiskers start livening up in a minute.
Yeah, start smelling the food.
Here he comes.
Yeah, following the big Oscar out.
The only one that might not eat, the dark red one at the back, he's just been a little bit lethargic the last couple of days. But
yeah, the red tail's doing something, look.
yeah, he's doing it.
You can smell it, can't he?
It's almost like he clumsily finds his food.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
Well, it's what they do, they haven't got the best eyesight, have they? They use the feelers, don't they?
All the whiskers, yeah. That green Seven's going to have his first prawn.
Yeah, I've never ever kept Severums, but
they're brilliant. We just got rid of a pair of golden Severums. They were nearly the size of the copper Oscar in front of you there. I mean, we took them to a pet shop and they're like, do you want anything for it? I was like, just give us a bag of pellets for the Oscars. Yeah. We went back there the other day, they're 160 quid they got one for. So they're back, I mean, they're quite sought after. The Severums grow big. Yeah. You often see them in tanks, some tanks at shops where people probably bought them, not really how big they get, but they're slow growers, really slow. So as long as he can fend for himself with the Oscars, he's not going to have trouble getting bigger.
He's definitely big enough to fend for himself, isn't he?
Yeah. There's 2 smaller ones in here as well that we're just growing up with the arowana at the moment. They're just at the back. They've been quite nervy. But we literally finished setting this tank up about 8 hours ago.
Yeah. That's the arowana, look how small he is. It's so cool to see him when they're so small.
Yeah, he's just had a little bit of a battery off of one of the Oscars, but we're going to grow him up a bit, drop him back in.
Yeah, give it a couple of months or so, it'll be like from there to there probably.
Yeah, exactly.
And he'll be fine.
Probably leap over to the other tank himself.
Yeah. What lid have you got on it?
There's a jump guard and a lid, but yeah, it's
yeah, be careful.
Yeah, we've got, this is just a temporary tank at the moment, we've got another tank to pick up. And
yeah, sometimes at night when I'm sitting there watching telly, even when I'm in bed, I hear bang.
Yeah,
and it's the big guys jumping, you know.
And the Oscars, one of them is he does like to round the glass that was right in front of you there.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's nuts. He loves his own reflection.
Yeah, it's a lovely fish. And this is the wild. It's just a wild one.
Yeah, actually, all wild. So they're off. They were bought from that guy Stuart that we talked about, the stingrays and the perches we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of wild fish.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. But they're also mad for pellet as well. So,
yeah, you got to keep them very diet, yeah. I used to feed mine obviously pellet 4 or 5 times a week, and they just get mussels like once a week, whatever, you know.
Yeah, literally the same.
Best way, mate.
Just the Hikari pellet.
Yeah. And what you had FX6s, you know?
There's 2 FX6. So that's 5k of Biohome, floss, and the Chemi Pure Blue.
Yeah.
The other side is 4k of Biohome, floss, and there is a Silatex layer. We had an issue with with the brown algae for a bit. So we're just running that for another 4 weeks, and then we can just come out, and then we're going to get the see-through resin in there.
Yeah, yeah, from Countryside, yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff, mate. A lot of people I've been to are running it.
Yeah.
Carl has actually just sent me some as well, and I need to try it, but I'm waiting for the new tank to be built and put it in the sump.
Yeah, nice.
So,
yeah. So, yeah, on the FX6s are absolute legends.
Oh yeah, they're great filters,
I don't know how you can run a tank without them, to be honest.
No,
it's it. But yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's sort of the go-to, isn't it, for monster fish keeping. If you haven't got a sump, everybody knows like run FX6, don't they? So.
Yeah, the only adaptation I've made to FX6 is I'll just put bigger pipes on them. Yeah. Just because of, to release all the pressure from the pump. So just at the back, you can see we just use a wider hose on the in and outs. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. And then obviously you can clamp the hoses on rather than them come like a pre-fixed rubber.
Yeah, you probably get a bit more flow with that as well, because there's no like ridges or anything like that in the pipe work, is there? So that's good. It kind of runs itself. It's certainly no maintenance, if only low maintenance. Yeah. But we probably will get one more Oscar, which could be today later on. Nice. What colour's that in? Well, we're going to go over to JBL Aquatics and have a look what they've got, because they've got them in that size. Yeah. Which is a bit of a rarity. What heat you got? You've got one heater. Yeah, that's a 500 watt aqua, and then there's a 300 watt the other end of the tank. Right. Oh yeah, see that one there. Out there. Yeah. So I never felt like I needed to upgrade that one. Yeah. There's a radiator behind the tank. Yeah. And obviously the wind, it's almost, those heaters are hardly ever on. Only obviously gone through winter, but so it's self-sufficient at 25 degrees. Yeah. Never really fluctuated, changing temperature or anything. No. Just as it is. I remember once I done a water change in my big tank, and I forgot to turn the heaters on, and that was for a day. I went to work for a day, and I come home. It was in the winter, but obviously my heating's on in the house. So the heating heats your tank. Yeah, and then went up to, and I turned the heaters back on, and it was up to 23.5 degrees. Yeah, right. So the home's heated the tank. Yeah. So a lot of people think like, oh, I need all these heaters, but sometimes you really don't. No, and the fish, I mean, I think over the years the fish get tolerant. I mean, I'm the same as you, I put the hose straight in on water changes. Yeah. And in fact, the Oscars, they all roll and lay under the cold water blasted in. Almost cleanse the scales. I mean, you see it if you're carp fishing or anything like that. Because it's full of oxygen, isn't it? Yeah, they're mad. Yeah, they just love it. So, because a lot of people I go and visit, they put they mix the water and put warm water back in there. Yeah. And they go, you're mad, you're putting cold water in. But I've done it like that for like 12 years, mate. I've never had any problems. On my personal thing, I think it hardens the fish up, to be honest. Yeah. It's especially if you haven't got time to do water changes, and you do hot water, cold water, you're mixing it. Yeah. I mean, the lowest I think that tank drops to on a water change would be 19, lowest. Yeah. And as soon as the heaters are submerged, they go straight back on. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And the wave machine, obviously with the current in there, the circulation of the water's good. So it's a steady temperature, there's no real hot or cold spots. No, nothing's sitting around, is it? No. Don't know what mate is up to there. It's just funny fish, aren't they? They are. But they're such character, aren't they? It's good. I think that's probably the first time we might have been in the clear bottom tank, but obviously they've got their own reflection, but yeah, I remember this guy, he's such a unit, man. He is, absolutely huge. That's a lovely tank, mate. So what size tank are you getting later then? Well, it's only a small, it's not a grow out tank. Yeah. But while we're at JBL Aquatics, we're going to talk about fiberglass build. Yeah. And that's probably going to be our next mission. With that arowana, we've probably got about 18 months before we're going to need something substantial. So, because moving around, I'd like a 3 foot, 8 foot, 3 foot tank. Yeah. But the logistics of it. So if I build it from fiberglass, I'm hoping I can take it apart. Yeah. Move it. Yeah. Rebuild it, re-fiberglass it. So we've actually got a fiberglass boat. So we've done quite a bit of fiberglass with it. Yeah, so you'd have to do it. Yeah. Basically all the tanking and stuff, isn't it? Getting it. It's just a new avenue to venture down, and then that way all you've got to worry about is your glass frontage. Yeah. So the lads at JBL Aquatics, they've built a 20 foot version of what I want to build. Yeah, I can't wait to go see that. Yeah, it's something else. It's absolutely. I mean, I don't know if there's many like it in this country, but so yeah, the next tank it would probably be if we're in this house where we're standing now, it would probably be a 10 by 3. Well, I've got to come back, man. Come film that. Yeah. So. And what's that for? Obviously the red tail cat and the arowana and stuff. It would just be an upgrade for these guys. Yeah. And I dare say
anything else that we kind of fancy on route. But
yeah.
I'm quite happy with the Oscars. The red tail was a little bit of an impulsive purchase, and we were quite concerned about the growth rate. But now we know the guys at Jaws, as you'll see later, they've got red tails that are probably 4 foot,
yeah.
and they're happy to rehome fish. So knowing that he's got a home, if he does excel in growth, is good. But no, I'm more than happy. The Oscars are easy. There's no dramas.
Well, at least you know that like you're upgrading. A lot of people keep like fish like the arowanas now, and they keep them in like 5 foot tanks and don't upgrade. Yeah. Like you know you're going to do it. So
I've seen it as well. I think it's quite a thing in Asia.
Yeah.
They seem to all have arowanas, but don't really necessarily do it with such space that the fish can turn around. And
yeah, and the tank's like running on sponge filters and things like that. Now. I've seen loads of videos.
There's all us lot panicking and buying all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. they just make do with what they've got, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you want to tell Mick where they're from?
The Amazon.
Yeah, the Amazon River or Basin?
Basin.
That's it.
You're doing a bit of research there, have you? When are you getting your tank then?
He's getting it later.
Oh yeah, is it going to be your one, is it? That's a lovely tank, guys. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's good.
It's nice seeing all the Oscars together, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. No, it's really good. And also in harmony, because we've had to move fish. I mean, every now and again one wants to be the boss, but when you've actually got an aggressor, it's a bit of a different story. So at the moment, there's no aggressor. You know, the big red one that you gave us, he's definitely bossing the tank.
Yeah.
But no one's bothered. No one's confronting him.
No, that's
like,
right.
Yeah, you carry on, mate.
You might get a little bit here and there when these guys sort of start packing on a bit more size.
Serious lockjaw going on, but nothing. It's not. It's nothing that ever needs any assistance. They just crack on. I mean, if you take the bobwood out and have it bare, it obviously does cause a little bit of tension.
Yeah,
so
it's always looking at each other then, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just good to break it up. But they're probably more bothered about their own reflection than they are each other.
As long as you keep them well fed and that, they're fine, aren't they?
Yeah, but he's a monster. But like I said, I haven't seen one bigger than that. It's deceiving as well, because I think it was only when we got him out of your tank, and it was actually when I got him home, it's like, actually, this is big.
Yeah, it's a massive fish, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I messaged you, didn't I? I said, mate, they're massive.
And I had one, it's probably the size of the red one. So I had one thinking, yeah, it'll be alright, it can't be bigger than the one I've got. But no, it's
a giant, isn't it?
Definitely the biggest Oscar I've seen.
The biggest one I've ever seen was at Wharf Aquatics, probably about 4 years ago. And it was in one of the top tanks, and you couldn't really see it, and then it come to the glass.
Yeah.
Honestly, no word of a lie, it probably had another third of him, maybe a bit more.
I mean, you can't even do it justice. You can't photograph that fish in that tank, and you do not get a sense of scale until you see it.
And once you get the fish out the tank, they look bigger as well, don't they?
I mean, I think so. The only Oscar we ever lost was he was like our old king of the tank.
Yeah.
We weighed him, didn't we? And he was nearly 3 pound in weight.
Really?
And I reckon yours is probably over 3 pound.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's a serious fish, but it's so placid. It's so, happy. It's a good.
Yeah, I used to stroke him and all sorts. They never went for my hand or nothing, so
they
should be used to your hand.
As soon as I put my hand in there to do anything, they'll have a little go, but the bigger ones they tend to know the routine. Yeah. Like I say, I was feeding them one side of the tank, maintenance the other, but like I say, just from having that arowana in there, the Oscars have been fed from both sides of the tank at the moment, so they're not really in their routine. But
no. Yeah, I mean, I love this fish, man. He's lovely.
They're good, aren't they? And the lateral lines. I don't know if you notice on the white albino. Yeah. And I think on one of the tails of yours is the only ones that got the little V cut in it. You notice on the dorsal.
Yeah, see that, yeah.
Yeah, so on the white one, in the background, he's got it in the dorsal and the tail. And I've never seen that before.
Oh yeah, see that, yeah.
And he's got a real nice blue shading on the fins.
Yeah.
The white one. But yeah, I hadn't seen that before until we picked up the grey one off you. It's got the little V in the tail, so I'm not sure what that means, but the lateral lines are really distinctive as well in the Oscar's body.
You notice every now and then they do like a little tail wag.
Yeah, they do a shake. Yeah.
They used to do it all the time in my tank.
That a few times, don't they? Yeah, I think George thought they were like something was going wrong. I was like, no, it's just a fish.
That's just what they do, yeah. I think they're actually sending out vibrations to the other fish, like saying get out of the way, you know.
They tend to do it quite a bit on the left hand side of the tank for whatever reason. They seem to spend all their time on that side, but there's all that room on the right hand side of the tank. Look at the big one in the middle now, that he just sits in there.
Is that where you feed him normally, this side?
Usually feed him this side, yeah.
It's like us hanging out in the kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely, mate. Thanks for having me over, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, we're going to a shop now. We're going to go have a look at Jaws Aquatics. I've never been.
Poly boxes.
Yeah, so he's going back getting some new fish. But anyway, guys, that is Gareth's Oscar's tank. Absolutely love it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. Ding notification bell and keep it real, everyone.